A conversation that I frequently have with small business owners is, they're concerned about productivity, so they want to filter the websites that their employees can get to. And the point I always try to make is, sometimes it's a technology issue with a technology solution, but sometimes it's a leadership issue with a management solution. How would you address that point?
Yeah, great question. I've got a lot of personal pain and experience with this one. I was the president of a relatively small company, about $5 million a year, 45 employees. We were a subsidiary of a multi-billion-dollar corporation making hundreds of millions of dollars each year and a very large and a complex management structure over top of us. Well, in order to keep the 600 and some odd nationwide employees in check, making sure nobody was venturing off into areas where they shouldn't be going on the internet, they would just lock down our ability to have free access. Well, I worked for and guided, gave leadership to the technical component of this company, a large insurance broker, and we provided the technical side, the risk control and the engineering side. And so we needed to have access to government websites. We needed to have access to technology websites in regard to safety and safety issues and chemical safety and hazards. And we needed to be able to do a search on certain topics just to make sure that we weren't reinventing the wheel. If a safety plan on a certain somewhat obscure chemical already existed, well, in many cases a government website would have something that we could utilize. Well, we were constantly running into this, just multiple layers of lockdown and being denied. So what happened was I was able to get an extra password to have extra freedom on the internet, and so I had 45 people all calling me wanting to know, okay, well, is this okay, is that okay? And then I had to give them access. It slowed us down, it bogged us down. We suffered through this for an 8 to 12 month period before I was finally able to convince the upper management that, you know what, abuse is going to be so minute. Generally speaking, I intended to monitor very carefully. Did we hire the right people? If we hired the right people, then we should very much have people who we can trust not to abuse. I know everyone's vulnerable to temptation, but for the most part, if you're focused on getting your job done, have the right incentives in place to reward excellence, you're not going to have a lot of abuse. Will it happen once in a while? Sure. But the productivity that we lose for those one or two occasional cases where someone has an abuse, we've just spent 10 times the money in losing our productivity as if we had just given them the freedom to go ahead, and if they make a mistake, then we have to have sanctions in place. But for the most part, I think trust is key. When I do leadership training, that's where we start. Trust and effective communication. Through that process, we then start to weed out and sort out. Do we have the right people in place? To coin a phrase, are the right people on the bus sitting in the right seats? We use personality assessments and behavioral style assessments to take a look at, do we have the right people in the right place, in the right roles? When we do, then we can give them a lot more freedom. And that freedom and that trust provides a dividend. If you don't have trust, you end up paying basically what amounts to an extra tax on your business in the lost productivity.